Welcome to our webinar, Get College Ready. We are excited to have all of you joining us today. My name is Morgan Chavez-Brannon with Parent and Family Relations, and joining me today are Lorena Williams from TSI and Christy Fonseca Williams from Raider Ready. This webinar is part of our Red Raider Family Webinar series, where we share important information on topics of interest to the parents, families, and supporters of our students. We hope this webinar will help you support your students as they prepare to attend Texas Tech and be successful Red Raiders. We have more upcoming webinars on other topics like what to expect at orientation, what to consider if your student is looking at pre-law, financial aid and tuition billing, living on campus, campus safety, and several others over the course of this summer. So please review that schedule on our website and sign up. We plan to keep this webinar to about 30 minutes or so. If there is time at the end, we will open it up for questions using the Zoom Q&A feature. In the meantime, feel free to type in your questions throughout the presentation because we do have some folks working behind the scenes to answer those for you. A quick reminder, we are recording this session and we'll post it to our website, so you'll be able to review it again later or share it with others. We will also email the recording link directly to the email you used to register for the webinar today. So without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to turn it over to Lorena.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are super excited that you are spending some time with us today. My name is Lorena Williams. I am the TSI Program Director. This afternoon, we're going to work a little bit on maybe clarifying some common misconceptions that we see from incoming Texas Tech students and that we hear from incoming Texas Tech students, in hopes to make that summer orientation process just a little smoother and calm any fears that you guys might have. Really kind of wrapping up your senior years or wrapping up your time at your university that you're at now and looking to come to Tech starting in the fall. So, kind of the biggest misconception that we see time and time again is that when you apply test optional, that includes the TSI test. So, we just want to be really clear in this that TSI test is not a part of that optional testing. TSI is actually a required submission for any public school in the state of Texas of higher ed. So entering college students must demonstrate their college readiness by meeting minimum standards on the TSIA, the TSI assessment in math, reading, and writing. And I really want to bring special attention to this, or by demonstrating an exemption for each area. So lots of times we get parents who say, we have to submit the TSI test. We have to submit the TSI test, which is 100% accurate, unless you have the exemption, which is a qualifying ACT, SAT score, military. We'll kind of go through some exemptions towards the end of my section of this afternoon. But I just want us to bring special attention to that. So TSI tests, we do want these on file. And I want to kind of clarify also, the TSI test is not an admittance test. If your student has taken the TSI test and maybe didn't perform the way they had hoped, or the way that maybe they have a little test anxiety, maybe they just weren't quite ready to take the TSI test, that is okay. TSI test is not an admittance test, nor can it be used for any type of admittance. It is truly a placement exam that's diagnostic in nature. Its goal is to help us provide a plan, if a plan is needed, that is personalized for the student to help them really, truly feel confident and be successful in those first few semesters here at Tech. So if the information that I just kind of clarified kind of sparked you to think, oh no, or we really probably need to schedule a test. So there are a few ways that you can schedule a test. If you are a Texas high school student currently, my best kind of advice would be to check with your counselor, check with your AP, and see if the school that you're attending is administering a TSI test sometime in the next few weeks. College readiness is a part of like your school accountability score. So lots of high schools kind of schedule these things throughout the year. They may have given it, they may have not. They may be administering it here in a couple weeks. So ask your student, to go and talk to their counselor if they do not have either a TSI score or an exemption for reading, math, or writing, and just clarify to see if there's an opportunity to take it there before they graduate. Second option would be to reach out to Texas Tech Testing Center. You can reach us at testing@ttu.edu or that number provided. There are two options. You can either purchase a voucher to administer the test virtually. Um, Kind of at you schedule it out, it's at your convenience. The other option would be an in-person on-campus testing. So if you reach out to testing, they will give you kind of the schedule and what to expect. The other thing would be a local testing center. You can A lot of junior colleges, some community colleges serve as like a local or a neighborhood or your area's testing center. The very easy way that I've always kind of helped families is simply Google searching testing centers near me or testing centers in whatever neighborhood. And it should populate locations that could serve as testing centers. Give them a call, give them an email, and simply ask, is TSIA on the schedule to be administered in the next few weeks? My best advice is to please try to get this done within, 2 weeks or so between attending your RO. What that allows time for is for you to actually take the test, receive the scores, submit them to the registrar's office, and have them processed so that the record that a TSI score has been submitted is on your student's file by the time they attend RRO. Kind of our third big misconception is college prep and college board. College prep and college bridge. So Texas Tech does not accept college bridge or college prep coursework as an exemption for TSI classes. If your student participated in either one of these at their high school, these classes are intended to serve as kind of a tutoring, as kind of a preparation to be able to take the TSI test. So if your student is in these, again, talk to your schools, see if you can schedule a TSI test. But they do not serve, completion of these programs do not serve as exemptions for having a score on file at Texas Tech. So if you know that your student has already taken the TSI test, or maybe has an ACT or an SAT score, or maybe they have college credit coming in, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm just not sure what my student has and or what we need, this slide is for you. So this right here, check your TSI requirements. TSI requirements and records are all updated with the registrar's office. They are going to process everything that you submit. Our office is definitely going to partner with you if your student is found to need TSI support. We will be there for you 100%. But the requirement itself is going to be processed and checked through registrar's office. They really have a great website that allows families to kind of go in there and explore to see if my student has an exception or what is needed to meet an exception. Okay, so how can I talk to my student about college readiness, and how do I bring up topics of TSI in general? So I would say, does your student know what the TSI is? Do they know what the TSI test does? And as I reiterated earlier in this presentation, the TSI test is not an admittance test. It is truly a placement exam that just helps any institution, anyone looking, any stakeholders know where a student might need help, if help is needed. Um, do they know what the TSI measures and why it's important? And truly, this is kind of a self reflection. One thing I really like to talk to our students about when they come to us in the summer to prepare for the fall is this is your time to be reflective as a student. It's the first time we're really kind of thinking about, okay, what are my strengths and what do I'm working to refine in my time at university? So, what are my math skill sets? If I'm pursuing a math heavy degree, what are my skills in math? Do I need to really work this summer in my first couple of semesters at Tech to refine those and build on those because I'm going to spend the next 3 years in a math intensive degree? And then what are my writing skills like? Do I want to be a copyright? Do I want to write stories? Do I have the skill set that I need? And what am I looking to reinforce and kind of maybe redefine in my tool belt? And then lastly, am I participating? Are your students participating in any TSI exempt pathways? So I'm not sure how many we have on the call today who would qualify for military. So are they active military? Are they coming back from a service? Military is one. So dual credit. Do I have college credit towards an entry level math or an entry level English class? Qualifying AP scores, qualifying ACT, SAT scores, and then, of course, did I take some college credit, maybe that wasn't dual credit, but maybe over the summer or outside of my dual credit coursework that I needed to complete for my high school diploma? So really talk to your students about what have they been doing to kind of prepare for this first step into college. I believe these slides will be shared with you guys. If you need some help in thinking about, okay, I know that they've been doing this, but how do I go about talking to them about, did they achieve that benchmark? Reach out to our office, reach out to the registrar's office. We're always glad to speak with families on the best way to kind of approach those conversations with students. Okay, so frequently asked questions for TSI and the assessment for TSI. So we do have some study material available on the TSI website. Um, the TSI test is very different in nature than maybe any kind of like a STAR test or an ACT or an SAT test. It really is a diagnostic test. It's really trying to check the understanding of very foundational things in math and literacy. We have found a few study guides that maybe help a student prepare for a test, something that's maybe out of the ordinary. The one that comes just specifically to mind is the math test. You're not allowed a calculator, which is very different for the state of Texas because, of course, we all have TI Inspires or TI 84s, really smart kind of graphing calculators. For the TSI test, you have a basic four function calculator when the test deems it necessary. It will pop one up for you. So you don't always have a calculator, which is very different than our normal math test in the state of Texas. You can retake the TSI test as many times as you want. We do not encourage more than 3 times. We feel that that's kind of when a student kind of reaches that frustration point, and we kind of do more harm than good. If your student has taken the TSI test and is having a hard time maybe reaching that college readiness benchmark, we want to reassure them that the test, that the cost, I'm sorry, yes, the cost of the TSI class is $250. We want to be here to support them. That's still a pretty good deal. Our TSI classes are structured to be a true support of whatever math or whatever English, typically English 1301, that they have on their schedule. So it's not intended to be an extra math class with additional homework, with additional assessments. It is a true support class of the college algebra class that they are currently enrolled in. We want to kind of be your guide on the side, if you will, as you progress through these math courses and English courses. The TSI test, the TSI classes are very specific in our design. Your entry level math and your entry level English classes, some of those classes may be, close to 200 or 300 students. Our classes are really set to 30 students. Our instructors know the student's name. If little Billy doesn't come to class that day, little Billy will receive an email that says, "Hey, Billy, we didn't see you in class today. Is everything okay? We can do anything to support you? How are your assessments going? How are your assignments going?" We really want a student to feel confident about their first few semesters here at Tech. That is often we get lots of questions about what is the structure of our class, what's the price of our class. We hear that time and time again in the summer is we are not an additional tuition fee. We have, it's just a one set fee of $250. And then our class sizes truly are that allows us to really build a relationship with the student to make sure that they are receiving that personalized specific support that they need. So what have students said about TSI? What we hope to build here in the TSI program and the TSI, specifically coursework side, college readiness side of TSI, is really we want students to feel empowered. We want them to feel confident about stepping into college level coursework. We want them to feel supported and really and truly have that great first step into their careers. Thank you so much for allowing me to kind of chat with you guys a minute. If y'all have any questions, if you have maybe something specific, TSI is very interesting, and there's lots of kind of special circumstances that may come up. If you feel like your student has a specific question or you need some clarity, please reach out to myself. Again, I'm Lorena Williams. I'm the TSI program director. We also have Ms. Elisa Carter on this call. She is our college readiness program coordinator. We would love to chat with you, help clarify, help answer questions, anything that we can do to help you guys have that summer orientation process run a little smoother, support your any understanding that you might want some clarity on. We would love a chance to chat with you guys. Thank you all so much for this time this afternoon, and we hope to see y'all soon. Recom Tech.
Hi, everyone. Lorena, thank you so much for that information. It is so helpful. This part of the webinar is going to be about our Raider Ready program. Welcome to Raider Ready, and I look forward to seeing you or your student, more so your students in our classes. I'm thankful to have this opportunity to share with you what your student can expect when they are in our Raider Ready class. So let's talk a little bit about our Raider Ready program. The Raider Ready program offers flexible 1-hour courses that easily fit into any student's schedule, no matter where they're at in their academic journey. So this is a very common course for those first year students that start here at Texas Tech. But just know that we have so many sections that your Red Raider can fit this course into any type of schedule that they have. And whatever they're studying, I can assure you that they will find a benefit from taking our Raider Ready course. Because our course focuses on building a community, we provide a week-by-week academic guidance, as well as we want our Red Raiders to have those social opportunities to be able to meet other Red Raiders. But we always get from our students that they learn so much about our campus resources. This is something that we talk about every single week when they're in our classes. And of course, we incorporate those career and internship explorations as well. So the specifics of Raider Ready, what does it look like for your student? Again, this is a 1-hour academic course, so they do receive 1 hour of credit. It is only 12 weeks, but we do meet in person once a week. Here are some of the benefits. We support our successful students with typically they receive higher GPAs. They get knowledgeable of those essential skills and, of course, all of the numerous campus resources that they have available to them here at Texas Tech. Bonus, no homework, no tests or assignments. The emphasis is on attendance. So not only is it the emphasis, but this is how students earn their grade. So it's simple. You come to class, they earn an A. We focus on the student, overall student well-being, but also how do we communicate with not only our instructors, but maybe other resources that we need on campus. It's definitely a great place to build our communities with other Red Raiders and a great place to have a safe, judgment-free place for those first year questions that a lot of our new Red Raiders sometimes are a little hesitant to ask. So as I mentioned, your student will receive an hour of credit. We have approximately 25 students to build that safe community of Red Raiders into their first semester. Again, as I mentioned, we have a week by week guidance and resources for your new Red Raider because we want to make sure that we all know what's going on around campus. And also, with only having about 20 to 25 students in your class, I'm pretty confident that this is going to be the smallest class on your schedule. As I previously mentioned, we talked about supporting student success. So let's check out some of this GPA information. So students who completed Raider Ready 1100 this past fall of 2025, started their spring, which is this spring, 2026 with the following GPA. So as um, you can easily see that the smaller percent of students fell into that 2.0 to 2.4 category. And then we had a few more fall into that 2.5 to 2.9, but we are so proud to share that 48% of our students started this spring in the 3.5 to 4.0 GPA range. We would like to think that our incredible instructors, along with our resources that we provide for our students, really helped incorporate those strong GPAs that we started off with this spring. So, what do our students say about Raider Ready? This is definitely one of my favorite slides to share because this is what our students say. As far as community, I would tell my friends that it is a very easy credit and you get to interact with new people and learn about what tech has to offer. You also have an instructor that cares for you and how you are doing. For transitional purposes, this class is extremely helpful as a new student and prepares you for what is expected from a Texas Tech student. It's an easy A and helps you transition from high school and living at home to college and living by yourself. For our social interactions, it is very helpful to hear others' challenges and how they overcame them. It is also a fun environment to interact with new people. And this class gave me resources that I will use throughout college. Again, just incorporating those week by week campus resources. So our students' favorite part about Ready Ready. This is always fun. Having a class where I wasn't stressed out every day. I appreciated learning new study techniques that are helpful when adjusting from high school to college. The lessons, it's very apparent that the teachers cared. The way the teacher really wanted to get to know you, she was very interactive and knew everyone's name. The small size of classes, and they liked having a small group to interact with every week. It made me feel like I wasn't as alone as I thought. So again, to reiterate, Raider Ready is a 1 hour course. So how does your student register for it? It's pretty simple. First, I want to ask that and invite you to come visit us at our Raider Ready table during Red Raider orientation this summer. So please come see us. And then please let your advisor know when you begin registering during Red Raider orientation, also known as RRO, or you can contact anyone from our Raider Ready team. So you might want to get those phones out so you can have our contact information. It's coming up on that next slide. So again, on day 2 of Red Raider orientation, let your advisor know that you want to register for a Raider Ready course. And of course, scan that awesome QR code on the screen as well. So here's our Raider Ready program team. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you. I'm Christy Fonseca Williams, and also on this webinar we have Sarah Props, who is our program coordinator for our Raider Ready program. Thank you so much for your time, and like Lorena said, we look forward to seeing you this summer. Go Tech, and welcome to our newest Red Raiders.
Well, thank you again to Christy and Lorena. We really appreciate you taking that time to visit with all of us today. For those that are still here with us, if you have some questions, continue to use that Q&A feature. I noticed it kind of popping off, so it definitely looks like we've got some really good questions coming in and getting those answers taken care of. Before you leave us today, make sure to take our very quick survey. It's like 4 questions long, very simple. And if you need to contact TSI or Rate Ready, their individual emails are right there on the screen for you. I did want one question that I saw, and either Christy or Lorena, or both, if you kind of want to tag team this, to put a very succinct way to answer this question, what is the difference between Rate Ready and TSI classes?
Sure, that's a great question. So, inside of college readiness, what we really do is we hope to approach the whole student. So, some academic support, and then also kind of that transition. And I'll let Christy talk to you guys a little bit about kind of the main goal of Red Raider of RRP of Raider Ready. But at TSI, what we want to do is we want to address kind of that academic transition a student will see coming into that entry level college courses. So, what we're going to do is we're going to support the learning that's happening in your academic classroom. So, we partner with all of the entry level math classes, which is like college algebra. If you're a business major, math 1330, which we call business calculus. The other one is a stats math. And then for predominantly not math intensive degrees, math 1300. And so what we really do is the students who are taking those courses, they then attend our classes, and our classes are centrally focused on what are the concepts and skills that are happening in your 4 credit math or your English 1301 class. What's happening in those classes, and how can we support the student to ensure that they're completing homework correctly, that they feel confident about what they're supporting. How do I study? I have this question. How do I email my professor to get this question answered? I've never used a syllabus in my life. How do I read weighted scores or weighted grades on this syllabus? So what we really do is we partner with your student as you walk through that first academic kind of adventure into college level coursework.
Yes, thank you so much. Raider Ready, again, is a 1 hour seminar course. It's a very popular course that most students take their first semester here at Texas Tech. It is not required, but it's definitely highly encouraged. And for a lot of our colleges, a lot of our departments, again, no matter what the major you're in, they will strongly encourage your student to take Raider Ready. Again, we strategically have it set up so that it provides week by week academic and social support. One of the challenges that we've seen with our students is that as they progress through that first semester here at Texas Tech, it's sometimes a little daunting and challenging to always know what is the best resource that I need to be using right now. What should I be expecting this third week of class? And so we definitely provide those resources. We have amazing instructors on our campus that not only provide that information, but they provide a great space so that your student can come once a week to share those questions, to share those concerns, but even more so to share their successes. We want to hear about all the great things that our Red Raiders are doing. And so I think I may have addressed some of the questions that were in the chat. So again, this is not a requirement, but it is strongly, strongly suggested. Our students do earn 1 hour of credit. And so they can actually register for Raider Ready on day 2 of their orientation when they meet with their academic advisor or their academic advising team.
Thank you both for those answers. And I'm gonna squeak in one more question for Lorena because I noticed kind of similar questions like this popping up a few times. So, what's the difference between taking the TSI test virtually at home versus at a local testing site? Is the procedure and pricing different?
So yes to both. So the procedure will be a little bit different. It is a proctored exam where someone's going to log on with you at the same time and ensure that the student is kind of the integrity of the test stays intact. No one is using AI. No one is using Google Help. No one's using a good math friend or a good English friend sitting up to the side to help in those. And then the price does change depending on if you're taking it in person, if you're going to take a voucher, and then even location and how you secure the voucher changes. Because, of course, all of that is done with who is servicing the test. So the test is given by AccuPlacer, but there's lots of test services platforms. So if it was me, I would kind of Google and um, price check some things to see if there is a big discrepancy in one way or another. But the largest one would be if you're doing it virtual, it is a proctor test. Somebody will log on with your student and monitor to ensure that the test environment stays up to the standard of an honest, honest proctored test.
Thank you. So that does conclude our time today. We do still have some open questions that will be answered in the chat. So if you do still have questions, please use that Q&A feature. And again, thank you for joining us today. Our next webinar is on Friday, and it will be about the cost of law school. So if you have a Red Raider that is interested in attending law school at some point in time, we highly encourage you to register for that on our website so that you can participate in that as well. Again, we will be sending out the recording of this webinar later today, so be looking out for that in your inbox. Have a fantastic day.